It's me. I know my first podcast was really cool. It was Godzilla, on the 2014 Godzilla, directed by Garrett Edwards. Sorry, I forget.
So we're going to talk a little Godzilla today. Just Solomon and I have been prepping for Godzilla X Kong.
It's coming out in 2 weeks.
And today we watched Godzilla King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong. The first episode of our podcast, or his podcast that I had done with him, we explored Godzilla, he said.
Yes, with the Godzilla Muto attacking in Japan. It was just really cool.
Now, as we start, Solomon, real quick, for everybody listening, run down your list of favorite to least favorite of the MonsterVerse films.
Alright, number 1 has to be King of the Monsters. I like King of the Monsters because it had the most monsters in it. Ghidorah was awesome, Rodan was awesome, Mothra was awesome, Godzilla was awesome. Of course, Firmo Godzilla, I was excited. I was 4 years old, and I was excited in the theater. I basically was screamed that.
It was one of the best times I've ever had in the movie theater.
Yes, it was awesome.
You got it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So first one, King of the Monsters.
My next one, I have to go with Godzilla, 2014. Because it was just Godzilla. Like, it was fun. Like, I liked it. But it had a lot of boring parts there.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, what's your number 3?
Number 3 is Kong Skull Island. There's a reason for number 3. I am not a giant Kong fan. Like, I like Kong. I'm a little bit a fan of him. But I'm mostly a fan of Godzilla. And you guys on the podcast know that.
And your number 4, I guess, would be Godzilla vs. Kong?
Yes, because of... I didn't like the story. And it was weird. Bernie was okay. Like, just weird.
We're going to get into that in our discussions here. So we took some notes while watching the films.
Dad, tell us Tyler, tell us our list.
My list?
Yeah.
So my list is Godzilla King of the Monsters. And what's funny is my first Godzilla King of the Monsters, my bottom is Godzilla vs. Kong. And my middle two, you and I kind of agree with you. Like, since you and I rewatched Godzilla, I felt a really more appreciation to that movie. I would have said Skull Island because I think Godzilla, the first Godzilla, 2014, we refer to it. It's definitely set in a very grounded way. I think we could have gotten a little bit more Godzilla action in it, but I do really enjoy that movie. Skull Island, of course, being like a prequel, because it goes back and tells more of the story of the Skull Island and the Monarch and all of that. It kind of changed it up, but I do enjoy that film. But yeah, I think I'll agree with yours. King of the Monsters is my favorite film.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about King of the Monsters. Going from Godzilla to King of the Monsters, we have the connection. First of all, I think the opening is great.
Yes.
Having that scene where we see Godzilla fighting the Muto in San Francisco and how that affected our characters, our new characters, that we're introduced to.
Madison, Russell,
dad,
yes.
and mom. I think really helps tie it in. And then we have Dr. Shirazawa. Now, what's funny is in the first film, Monarch is very much this kind of quiet organization. And then in the next movie, people know about Monarch, so now it's a bigger thing. And it's like with each film, Monarch gets bigger. So in King of the Monsters, Monarch is probably the most present in any film.
Yes.
There's definitely a weight and a heaviness to you can feel the Titans. They feel real, the way they move. And King of the Monsters also is the film that it feels big. Like we're going around the world the way they use like the technology to see the monitors of the other Titans, it makes it feel like it's global. And Ghidorah is genuinely scary.
Yeah.
We do get, we haven't entered a point where I think that we're getting more sci-fi fantasy. We're still kind of grounded. We do get another reference to Hollow Earth.
Yes, the reason I have to say, okay, I might just jump farther really quick. I wish we at least saw a little bit of Hollow Earth. Like, maybe, I think we should saw like one more monster. Like, there's a lot of monsters, but I think we should see like, guys, if you guys haven't seen, there's a Monarch app on,
Yeah, we downloaded it for the phone and for the
yes,
tablet.
it's on the tablet and phone. You can get it at the App Store, and you can check out the Godzillas, clicking the link to get it, but something like that. It'll tell you more about the monsters and kind of the lore about them. So it's cool. But I feel like there's lots of Kingdom monsters that meets the eye. Like, in,
Well, what's interesting is you think about it. Having not watched them back to back to back like we kind of did as much as we can. The Hollow Earth term, I think there was one line in the first one. No, I don't think it's mentioned in Godzilla at all. It's not used till Skull Island. And then it's referenced, like we just said here in King of the Monsters. And I didn't realize it. It was in Skull Island. And then in King of the Monsters, I didn't realize. When I thought of Hollow Earth, I thought they just meant tunnels. You know, that's how he was able to move. But then we get to Kong, Godzilla vs. Kong. It's like a whole place. Like, it's like some Jules Verne Journey to the Center of the Earth type stuff. Like, it's an entire world. It's down there. So it just opens up this myth, this lore that we're getting with the Titans. And it's just interesting when you go back and you watch just the first Godzilla, where we were and how the filming felt like it was Godzilla in real places. And then as we go along with the other films, we start getting more CG environments. It's still fun, but now, one thing I really liked in King of the Monsters, okay, is the end credits start talking about how the world has been rejuvenated because of the Titans, just like the lady said that would, the mother. We get that Titan DNA is being used for stuff. We get that Titan poop is becoming this high quality energy and fertilizer that it's actually really. So all these things are hinted at that.
like, there is a picture, spoiler alert, that there's a picture at the end of the credits that is another egg, and it looks like Mothra's.
Yeah, there is.
It was a big egg. Like, I saw it in the credits. I'm like, this might be interesting. And hold on. So, with X-Con coming out, I have a theory that Mothra is going to be in X-Con, and she's going to help Godzilla. She's gonna evolve Godzilla.
Godzilla can fight, but sometimes he needs help too.
Like, yes, like he could just defeat Mechagodzilla by itself if he just.
Mechagodzilla set him up. Now, there was, so if you remember, Skull Island had a post-credit scene where I can't remember the characters' names, but anyways, where Loki and Captain Marvel were hanging out. You know what I'm saying? And Brie Larson and Tom Hiddleston's characters. And they, are being introduced to more about what Monarch is, and they watch a clip and we hear Godzilla's roar. Cool, but that's set in the 70s, right? Now the post-credit scene at the end of King of the Monsters is our main villain, antagonist character Jonah, purchasing the earlier in the film when Godzilla fought Ghidorah, he ripped Ghidorah's head off.
Which was crazy.
And they're purchasing the Ghidorah head that was remaining. So that's good, okay? Because that scene connects to Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, in Godzilla vs. Kong, let's talk about this film, okay? Some of my issues. I think this movie should have started with more of a prologue scene that told us what Kong was up to while Godzilla King of the Monsters was going on. We get told that he's in containment on Skull Island.
In Monarch. Spoiler! If you haven't seen the last episode of Monarch, you're probably gonna see this. But they come out underground and they found Kong and put him in a containment. Like an outpost for 382.
That's a huge jump from every other outpost we've seen. Has been like double digits. Like Solomon asked today, like, what's Outpost 1? But there's nothing listed for Outpost 1 yet. So how are you gonna be in 300? But I would have liked to have seen some sort of connective tissue as to more of like a prologue, and like I compared it to BVS, where in the opening scenes of Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, we see the attack of Metropolis from Bruce Wayne's point of view. I would have liked to have seen something kind of similar, where we see what Kong was up to, or like if he's all of a sudden he's in his containment and he starts going crazy trying to get out. Because of the threat of Ghidorah. Because if you were to watch like just from a Kong point of view, from Skull Island to Godzilla vs. Kong, there's so much story that's not there.
Like, how did Kong save the girl? But there's comics too. There's the comics, so. And there's the video game.
I mean, there's a line dropped about something came and basically wiped out all the indigenous people who lived on Skull Island. Just that little girl lived.
No, hold on. I think I saw in the trailer XCOM of the little girl's mother.
Okay, well,
I think I saw. I think, guys, I just watched YouTube stuff.
I see that there's a 3-year jump between the two films.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing when we get to Versus is what happened. Like, we in King of the Monsters.
So.
We in King of the Monsters, where Godzilla's standing there roaring, they're bowing down to him, and then all of those kaijus we don't hear from again.
Like Queen Muta, what happened to her? Grodan, what happened? Like Scylla, Behemoth.
Like what happened with him? Did he just send them home? Like there's not even any kind of like communication of letting us know what happened, or we're not seeing any benefits from the end credits about the Earth being better because of because of the Titans. Now, this movie in Versus, Monarch is very rarely in it. This movie completely underserves our continual characters that connect it, which is Kyle Chandler's character of the dad, and then Madison. There's no mention of Jonas. But somehow now as an Apex is a big important company in this film that had got the skull. So if they would have had Apex with Jonas, that would have made sense. Now we did see Apex start to appear in Monarchy: Legacy of Monsters TV series. We saw Apex Company.
But we didn't see any King of the Monsters.
So I'm saying they're just connecting.
Okay. In Versus, I don't like understand a lot. When I first saw it, I'm like, what? The reason is there like should be like the ending is Godzilla going in the water. I mean, the ending is calm, roaring, and Hollow Earth, which is kind of, weird. But it ends with a destroying Mechagodzilla, which was good. Like, it's good. But the only thing I have to say here is, why does Apex have skull colors?
Well, so that just tells me that they needed some form of a Titan type monster for their mech to fight to see if it was ready, because their whole story is, like I told you, everything in this movie feels very under the radar. Like, we're not really getting to learn stuff like we should. They want to, if they eliminate, basically they're going to get Godzilla to look bad, get Kong to fight Godzilla, and then one of them will kill each other, and then whoever's left standing, their mech will kill. And then technically they are now the alpha, which means they can now control the other Titans, because their mech will have the alpha signature because they're using Ghidorah's brain.
But see, here's the thing. Why Mechagodzilla is weaker than Ghidorah? Because it's only one Ghidorah head. There's 3 Ghidorah heads. But Godzilla could, and King of the Monsters defeated Ghidorah alone. But Mothra, yeah, I know about Mothra and stuff like that. But why did Mechagodzilla was defeating Godzilla, but Ghidorah?
Well, like I said, Godzilla just got done fighting Kong. It's just like if you were in a fight and you just got done beating somebody and you're tired and weak from it, then someone who's fresh out of the gate comes at you and starts attacking you, you're going to have you're in a struggle. They're fresh and powerful, and you're like, all right, been through all this. But one of the biggest things from a narrative story point is the fact that Ren Serizawa is the one that's controlling and is working with Apex. Dr. Serizawa's son.
But
they don't ever talk about, like, he's controlling the Mechagodzilla, and there could have been something where you understand that he's part of this because he feels that Godzilla's responsible for his father's death. Even though his father made the choice himself, there's no setup for it or anything. And like, he's controlling the mech, and you would think that there would be some dialogue or something about him angry, like, like, this is for my father, Godzilla, or whatever. But I mean, as soon as he starts that thing up and that mech comes out, boom, he gets fried, the mech turns on everybody, and Ghidorah basically takes control of it. Like, I mean, right out of the gate. So the whole point of that Serizawa's son completely wasted on this film. The character of Bernie, as the annoying investigative podcaster person, the conspiracy theorist, no. That storyline, Bernie should have just been an employee from Apex who discovered something and then was trying to contact Monarch. He gets a hold of Kyle Chandler's character. He doesn't have time or believe him, but Madison does. And it becomes more of, that's the side story about Madison and her dad with Bernie. Okay? That's the story that should have been. Because we needed to keep some continuity of our characters and keep characters that we emotionally... Because that's the thing with King of the Monsters, you identify and you like the human characters. It has a nice balance of human and kaiju. Whereas the first Godzilla was predominantly human with some kaiju. Godzilla vs. Kong's, we're learning all these new characters all over again. We just want to see Kong and Godzilla, the characters that we know. And we meet, former Monarch scientists. And we learned that the one lady, she's been working with Kong. So like I said, there's so much Kong story. But my question for you, Solomon, okay? is does the physics of what they talk about with traveling to Hollow Earth and the whole brother's journey that died trying to get to Hollow Earth match up with what we learned in Monarch Legacy of Monsters, where they travel to Hollow Earth, and we have the whole time dilation problem. Like this movie, I just thought about that. Godzilla vs. Kong ends. They're all down in Hollow Earth with Kong. That means when they come up, time should have moved differently. Because that's what we learned, right?
Yeah. Whoa.
So
They should have done that time thing. Like, they should have done that time thing in Versus, but they didn't. Like, Versus is really short, though.
it is the shortest one. Like I just feel like it could be a little bit longer if you would have fleshed out these characters and not try to force so many new characters. And I want to know Kong's story, which brings us to our pitch section here soon. But I did have to laugh because you know how Godzilla is mainly a Japanese creation.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that the final battle of this film is in China, and Godzilla and Kong, and then Godzilla just basically lay waste to China, Hong Kong. Like it just completely annihilates.
Godzilla's not from China, he's from Japan.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm laughing. Is because it's a Japanese thing, but in this movie he destroys China.
Whew, oh my goodness.
But all right, so
Let's talk about, like, theories.
this is the, yes.
For X.
Yeah, so this next part, Solomon's going to give you some theories on what he thinks is going to happen in Godzilla X Kong.
Okay, so the little Diddy Kong, I call that guy Suko. When I first saw a trailer, I'm like, who's this Diddy Kong dude? And yeah, I call him Diddy Kong, no reason. But yeah, he kind of looks like Diddy Kong. But he kind of looks like Scar King's father.
What do you mean, it's Scar King's son?
Yeah, no, that's what I meant. Not father, son. So basically, it's weird. Like, that in Suku, like, I don't understand the whole monster, like, what? Like, I don't, okay, here we go. Shimu, when we first saw Shimu in the second trailer, I was hyped. Like, Shimu, like, I was hyped. But in the fourth trailer, okay, I call it the fourth trailer, we see Shimu, and we go, and Shimu, you see Shimu blast that column, we see the whole body of Shimu, which I feel like we should see more Shimu in the movie, trailer. But, I still have a reason. I have two theories about the ending. One theory is Godzilla at the end, Shimu turns good against and is ally of Godzilla, and they fight next monster in the next movie, which is probably gonna be about like 4 years. I don't know from now, 3 years from now. So basically that, or we have a really cool that Shimu dies and then apex predators find them. Like Serizawa's son found Shimu, and he's gonna turn Shimu into Gigan. That's another theory. So basically, we're probably about. Let's talk about Scar King for a minute here. Like, this Scar King, he probably is the reason, like, what is Scar King? For most of you who don't know who Scar King is, he's a giant orangutan monkey, red monkey in the trailer. is probably going to be the main villain of the film. Like, this creature kills a lot of titans. Like, we can see that in the title reveal. Like, we can see, like, I saw King Caesar's head. Skull. Whatever. And I'm wondering, when it shows the Godzilla skull, the Kong skull, is that Godzilla's father and Kong's father's skull? There's just the whole Muto and Skullcrawler. Does Scar King control Mutos and Skullcrawlers to kill Kong and God? So basically, that Scar King and how did he maybe he controlled the Mutos and Skullcrawlers because of his whip, his whip.
So watching what we did today, and I'm wondering how much of time jump there is between Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla, and Kong. Because I wonder, what the time frame is, because we didn't get a lot of time to explore Hollow Earth with Kong. We are only in basically that one room. So where are all these other apes coming from? That's kind of what Kong's been looking for.
Thank you, Tyler, for saying that. I have an idea that, I think the Scar King took those other innocent Kongs and take them as his slaves and start an empire.
I want to see how big Scar King is compared to Kong, because we've never got them really in a good shot together to see what their sizes are.
Yeah. By the way, Shimu, Kong looks like a little midget. Kong looks like a dog to Shimu. Like, Shimu's giant. Kong's like, I don't know, 200 feet? Shimu's about like 500?
I mean,
so we can have like a 300 feet.
I don't know, like we saw things, she was gonna be a lot bigger than what we think.
Yes.
It's gonna make Kong look a lot smaller, which is cool because we already have an idea of how big Kong is after watching the last film. So Solomon, let me ask you a question here.
Yeah.
If you were gonna pitch an idea for another MonsterVerse film, what would you do?
Thank you for saying that. Like I said, the endings, the two endings, I have to say probably Godzilla versus Space Godzilla, which I'm faking of, like Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. That's what I'm faking of, because of we need another Toho monster. Not that really, not like Rodan or Ghidorah or someone that's new but had been in Toho. The new Toho.
Okay.
But I say Space Godzilla because it will be.
So yours will be a sequel to.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah, I can get behind that.
How about you, Tyler?
Well, what I would do is I actually have an idea. It would take place probably in the 80s, and it would be Kong, Rise of Monarch. And my idea would be, this would be the film where Monarch really starts to form as more of a more government agent, because now they have all of this evidence about the existence of monsters. And it would feature Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson now being Monarch agents because they can't let them know, they can't let the secret get out. So either they have to work for Monarch or they die or in prison. So they're now setting up Monarch, and it's about Monarch going into Skull Island and basically stripping it of things, taking things out, and starting to build the containment that will be Kong's lair, like that we will see him in. And it's kind of a sad movie. It's more where Monarch is more of the antagonist in this film because they're now starting to be empowered with militaristic power. And it's not just a bunch of scientists. And I would go and I'd have to rewatch Legacy of Monsters to kind of get some of the timing things right. But it would show what Monarch was doing. And I would get, how I would get to the end of the movie is, what was his name? Kintaro's father's name. The little boy, Hero? Was it Hero? Huh? Yeah. The Bill Radda's son. That they were...
No, it was Hiroshi.
Hiroshi, thank you. I know. See, Hero's in there. I knew it. Hiroshi. He would be one of my main characters because he would be the head of Monarch or part of the head of Monarch at this time.
See, I want to.
This would be about the time that the two kids would be born, and it would end. It would be Kong focused because it would be about Kong's our ally, Kong is this. But then at the end of the movie, it would kind of be like they turn on Kong in a way. The whole movie is Kong's working with them to help clear out and capture and some of the island's creatures, like the ones big spider-looking thingies that have.
Scylla.
Is that Scylla that has like it was like walking bamboo? They're like stabbing people. Remember?
Oh, that's Motorland Lakes.
See, but then at the very end, they trick Kong into his captivity. And it ends where Kong. So it ends where Kong is in his cage now, on his home, which is Skull Island. And then my post-credit scene would then be the scene that I wanted of seeing Kong in his cage going crazy because he hears the two apex predators fighting, and he's stuck and he can't get out. And you see them like trying to trank him or whatever to make him relax because Godzilla, and you have scientists in that bunker watching Godzilla battle Ghidorah and seeing the scenes of all the Titans coming together and just been, oh God, right now. Boom. And that's my Rise of Monarch.
That was a good idea. I want to see Godzilla's origin story. That's one of the things. Like, I want to know more of the origin stories of these monsters. That's what I want to learn. Like, how did Godzilla? Why does Godzilla fight the Mutos?
Well, I'm curious.
Why does Kong fight the Skullcrawlers? Like what?
I mean, it was talked about in Godzilla vs. Kong that one of the working theories was Hollow Earth is where all the Titans originated at, but then basically Skull Island is Hollow Earth popped up to the surface. So that means that it's kind of weird why there wouldn't be a kind of portal to Hollow Earth at Skull Island, why they had to go to Antarctica. You know what I'm saying? Because I got thinking about that. It's not the same place as where Ghidorah was freed. That's what I got thinking. It's the same area, but it wasn't. There's our dogs being crazy. But I do want to throw out this disclaimer that we have yet to watch. Our dog is trying to Godzilla and Kong. We have yet to watch the Skull Island anime. Hey, dogs! Shh. Shh. So that's me, Tyler, of the Requel podcast. I want to thank Solomon here for inviting us on here for Solo's World.
Thank you. I have something to say really quick though. of we'll see like Godzilla origin story, like Kong's origin story, like maybe the origins, like something like that. Like, where did they come from? Why? Where did Godzilla come from? But just crazy. Telling you that, guys. Telling you that. Of course, it's me, Solomon, and Patrick. And you guys should find the Monarch Lab, whatever it's called, on your app store on your phone, and learn about the monsters and new monsters and lures and stuff like that. Of course, you can find me on. Of course, you can find me on one of the podcast channels on Apple.
Yep.
And
You'll find Solomon. He'll pop up here. Check out Solo's Word here on our Patreon, while Solomon works to boost his own podcasting channel.
And remember,